host, and I'm here to tell you we have a great show for you today. I'm actually on location with Airbrush Magik, and they don't call him Magic for nothing. Just check this out. His airbrushing will blow you away. It's one of a kind, so you don't want to miss this. So sit back, and we'll be right back. What's up? I'm here with Airbrush Magik, and I don't know about you guys, but I want to know how he does this stuff. So how long have you been airbrushing?
Well, the days I've been airbrushing for over 26 years.
Wow.
That's a long time to be doing one thing like this. But I think I do it a lot because I just enjoy it.
How did you get started airbrushing?
Well, what happened was I happened to see a movie that had some low writing in it, and it had some murals in it. And I saw in some of them, I thought, gee, I think I could do better than that. Rather than just sit there and think, well, I can do better than that, I said, why don't I actually do it? So I got my income tax money one day, and I just went ahead and went to the store, and I bought the airbrush, and I brought I bought the paint and everything, and then I just went ahead and said, you know what, let's do it. And before I knew it, I started getting customers, and people were coming in and wanted me to do more work, and it just mushroomed from there.
We all want to know, how did you get the nickname Magic?
Well, actually, Denise, that's something that came a little bit later. In fact, maybe in the last 2 years of me calling Magic, and a lot has to do with the shop that I'm at. The guys around here kept saying, gee, Steve, you're doing stuff that's just magic.
Okay. And so do you airbrush mostly bikes or cars, or do you do both?
For the last 25 years, I did mostly cars and trucks. But I've done things like safes. I've done things, like huge safes. They wanted like wildlife scenery on them. I've done stuff like, I've done weird parts of the car, like underneath fender wells, underneath door jams. I mean, these guys were thinking of the hardest places.
Why underneath?
Well, because a lot of these are show cars.
See.
Yeah, a lot of them are show cars, and they want to show all the different items. So like when they open the hood up, you might see the firewall, it's all done. They open the trunk, they put the murals under the trunks, under the hoods. They're going everywhere. Back in the day when I first started, they were just doing basically top of the hood, top of the trunk. Then as I noticed, as things progressed, they started going underneath things, under panels. They wanted to go out and roll in to the show with no mural showing, and then all of a sudden whip up everything, and wow, look at all the points he's got. Because they would get points for having so many murals or whatever on their cars.
So if I wanted to airbrush, could you teach me or anyone else?
Well, I think everybody has some talent in them. Some more than others. It depends on your interest. And I always tell people it's your interest that drives whatever you do. If you're a policeman, it's because you have an interest in it. If you're a fireman, same thing. If you're an artist, you have an interest. Now, if you just want to pursue it as a hobby, yes, there are some things that you can do to get started. And you can use stencils. You can use pre-cut stencils that they sell in a lot of stores. There's a lot of options that you can do. If you are a little artistic, you can draw your own stencils out, cut them out, and spray them that way. Once you get more advanced and then you start doing more free-handed work, like what I do here, then you start moving into that area. And little by little, you're going to find yourself weaning away from a lot of the stencil work. Because it kind of leaves this little funny cutout looks anyway. Some people like it, some people don't, but for me, I like what I do. Airbrush has a specific look to it. It looks like a dream. I mean, it looks like a dream. It's a very soft look. And all you do is destroy that look when you start cutting everything out. Personally, that's what I do.
Well, that's good to know. So all you out there who want to learn how to airbrush, Airbrush Magik. So what techniques do you use?
Okay, well, I mentioned a little bit about the stencils. And when I started out, I started like everybody else, started with stencils. You go out and buy a lot of the books that tell you how-tos. They always start you out with stencils. And that's part of the thing that you start with. But from there, that's when you build out. And you start building, you start using stencils, then you'll use a little freehanding over the stencils. Some of the things you'll start, little by little, you start doing more and more freehanding. That's what happened to me. And it was sort of a natural progression. I mean, I didn't read it in the magazine. I didn't see it anywhere. Just over the years, I started saying, hey, I can just draw this instead of cut it out. And I started seeing I was saving time. And then I could do it faster, and then I could do more detail. That's why you see so much detail. If you had to cut all this out, you'd be there a very long time. And because time is money, money is time in this business, you got to be able to crank stuff out like this very quickly. So in order to make it profitable.
Advice would you give someone getting started?
Well, if you want to get started, and say if you want to get it started in the professional level, she'd already have been drawing for a number of years. And if you have, then you're already one step ahead, because an airbrush is drawing. Once you start doing freehanding, you can draw. So if you can draw, you can probably start freehanding right away. If you're not into drawing, it's going to be a little bit longer, and you're going to be more with the stencil cut stuff. But little by little, I mean, I'd like to give everybody inspiration on this, that if you try it long enough, you're going to get better. It's just all a matter of practice.
So Magik, by looking at your work, it's hard to believe that anyone can learn how to airbrush. I mean, this is one of a kind airbrushing paintings.
Well, this particular piece is called Vampire Orgy, and what it has is...
Did you hear that? Vampire Orgy?
And as you can see, the girls are like literally being pulled into this murky depth of evilness, and then the vampires themselves are sort of coming out of those things, and you got like long dead ones coming out, their skulls and stuff. And then like the close-ups are all the vampires with the bloody eyes, showing the evilness coming out, and it's really to scare the heck out of you.
I mean, this is one of a kind. I mean, look at this. Check this out, guys. Look at the detail. Look at these chicks. They're hot. Oh my God. How do you do this? Where did the ideas come from?
Well, Denise, I had mentioned earlier that see, I started drawing when I was like 4 years old, and I mean that's all I did. I mean, when the other kids were out playing basketball and football, I was the guy inside there doing the drawings, and I draw all the time. And then I would start making my own comic books, and then I would draw even more because I'm doing comic books. And I started doing stories with them, and it just continued on. And I had stacks. Before I know, I had stacks of drawings in my room. So, yeah, that's different from the average person because I've done it for so long. So that's what I'm saying is that, and people that actually ask me, they go, you know, this is a gift. And I said, well, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's hard for me to tell because, like my brother, he grew up in the same family as I did. My mother was the painter in the family. She did a lot of artistic stuff. So maybe I did inherit something from her. My brother tried drawing, he couldn't do it. My sister couldn't do it. I was the only one. And I was the only one that was interested enough to keep on doing it. So whether it's a talent or something that's learned, I don't know. For me, inside, it's just something for me natural. I just kind of live it. I mean, people will look at this stuff and go, boy, I can imagine the kind of dreams you have. And yeah, I have some pretty scary ones.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
gosh,
you know,
you got a wild imagination.
So I let some of my demons out that haunt me at night. They come to life on people's vehicles or motorcycles or other things. So a lot of times, like I had mentioned earlier also, is that sometimes I would do a whole car. And I would start at one fender, and I didn't have any drawings out.
Oh my gosh.
I would just start at one fender and start painting from the other fender. And people would come and say, well, how do you know what you're going to do there? I said, I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. Because it's whatever I feel. If I feel that this is what's going to be there, then that's what's going to be there. So I really worked very naturally for most of all those years. I was just working naturally. Only recently, though, I started using a little bit more of the images, and I just started using references and stuff like that, just to upgrade some of the stuff I was doing. But for the most part, I still try to stay as natural as possible. Still trying to keep things fresh.
Well, I've got to say, you are magic. I mean, just check this out. Check his work out. One of a kind, amazing stuff. It was nice meeting you today.
It was nice meeting you.
And I'm sure I'll see you around.
I'm sure you will.